The Haunting of Roanoke Island. America's lost colony. In 1587, a group of 117 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, off the coast of present-day North Carolina, to establish one of the first colonies in the New World. Led by John White, these men, women, and children were filled with hope, envisioning a thriving community on the fertile land. But within 3 years, every single one of them would vanish without a trace, leaving behind one of the most chilling mysteries in American history, the lost colony of Roanoke. What makes this story truly terrifying isn't just the disappearance itself, but the disturbing clues and strange occurrences that have haunted Roanoke Island for centuries since. The disappearance. John White, the colony's governor, sailed back to England in 1587 to gather more supplies, leaving behind his family, including his newborn granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. Due to wars with Spain, White was delayed for 3 years, unable to return until August 1590. When White finally arrived back on Roanoke Island, he was greeted by an eerie silence. The colony was completely deserted. The homes had been carefully dismantled, not destroyed, and there were no signs of struggle or violence. It was as though the settlers had simply walked away. The only clue left behind was the word Croton carved into a post of the fort, and the letters CRO etched into a tree nearby. White took this as a possible indication that the settlers had moved to Croton Island, some 50 miles away, but due to rough seas, he was never able to reach it to confirm. The mystery of the lost colony has baffled historians for centuries, but over the years, strange and terrifying stories have emerged from Roanoke Island and its surrounding areas, stories of cursed land, ghostly apparitions, and eerie sounds in the night. The dark theories. One of the most disturbing theories about the lost colony involves the Native American tribes who lived in the region. According to some oral histories, the settlers were not simply lost, they were consumed by something far darker. The local Croton tribe believed that a powerful spirit or demon inhabited the woods surrounding the colony, an entity they called the Wendigo, a malevolent spirit with an insatiable hunger for human flesh. It was said that those who encountered the Wendigo would be driven mad with cannibalistic urges, eventually succumbing to their darkest instincts. According to this legend, the Roanoke settlers may have fallen victim to the Wendigo, either by being hunted or by turning on each other in desperation. Some even speculate that the word Croton carved into the post was not a destination but a warning, perhaps a sign that the settlers had encountered the spirit and met their fate. Other Native American tribes in the area spoke of skinwalkers, shape-shifting beings that could mimic human voices to lure their prey into the woods. Hunters and explorers in the centuries that followed reported hearing disembodied voices calling their names from the forest, only to find nothing when they investigated. The Roanoke Ghosts. The land where the Roanoke colony once stood is now part of a national park, but those who visit have reported spine-chilling experiences. Rangers and tourists alike have claimed to see ghostly figures walking through the trees at dusk, figures dressed in 16th-century clothing, their faces pale and expressionless. Others have heard the faint sound of children laughing or crying near the old settlement, though no children were present. Even more unnerving are the reports of strange whispers carried on the wind. Some visitors claim they've heard their names being called from deep within the woods, only to find no one around. The whispers are often followed by the sudden drop in temperature, even in the heat of summer. In one particularly disturbing account, a park ranger, while patrolling at night, saw a figure standing near the old fort. Thinking it was a tourist who had stayed past closing time, the ranger approached, only to watch in horror as the figure slowly faded into the trees, leaving behind the echo of a child's laughter. Another ranger reported seeing flickering lights in the woods, like lanterns moving through the trees. He followed the lights, thinking it was someone lost in the forest, but the lights vanished as soon as he got close, leaving him standing in the pitch-black darkness. The Croton Curse. The word Croton has not only haunted Roanoke Island but has appeared throughout American history in strange and ominous ways. In the 19th century, the infamous pirate Blackbeard reportedly scrawled the word Croton on the door of his cabin shortly before his death. Similarly, when the legendary writer Edgar Allan Poe was found delirious and near death on the streets of Baltimore in 1849, his last words reportedly included "Croton," though its meaning remains a mystery. In 1913, Amelia Earhart stayed in a hotel room in North Carolina, not far from Roanoke, the night before she disappeared. Her journal, left in the room, had one final entry, "Croton." It was never explained. The word seems to have attached itself to disappearances and death, leading some to believe that Roanoke Island is cursed, and that the lost colony's fate was only the beginning. The unsettling conclusion. To this day, no one knows what really happened to the settlers of Roanoke. Archaeologists continue to search for clues, but the eerie silence of the site offers few answers. What is clear, however, is that something dark and unnatural lingers on Roanoke Island. Whether it's the spirits of the settlers, cursed to wander the land for eternity, or something far older and more malevolent, the island holds its secrets close. For centuries, those who have ventured into the woods at night claim they can still hear the whispers, see the flickering lights, and feel the cold breath of something watching them from the shadows. Perhaps the Roanoke settlers never truly left, perhaps they are still waiting, calling out from the darkness, warning us to stay away from the cursed land of Roanoke. So, if you ever visit the island, remember, when you hear the wind whisper your name or see the shadows moving just beyond your sight, turn around. Leave the island. And don't look back. The lost colony of Roanoke may be more than just a mystery. It may be a warning.